Hey everybody, happy Wednesday. Mark Causey here from Black Cat Comics in Rockin' Milpitas. Every Wednesday is New Comic Day and I like to give you some great reasons to get down to your local comic store and pick up something fun to read. This week is packed with stuff that's fun to read. I'm going to start with the DC guys this week because this is Harleen #1, the latest from the DC Black Label stuff. All of this DC Black Label has set the comics world on fire ever since Batman Damned #1. Obviously anything about Harley Quinn is going to be a little edgy. Everything from Black Label is mature reader only. This is probably going to be hottest book of the week, so I hope this is already on your sub list or you're in line at your favorite shop. Everyone loves anything Harley Quinn, and this sort of prequel to her whole story is highly anticipated. Great story, great art, as we like to say. Make sure this one makes its way into your pile this week. And check out any of that stuff from DC Black Label if you like the darker, more mature reader kind of stuff. And in other DC, I like every week that starts with Action Comics from Brian Michael Bendis, bringing Naomi into the big thing. One of the hottest new characters in DC. Love Action Comics. Detective Comics, the one that's just as good as the main Batman title, and Wonder Woman, another one of the best titles in comics. I love the DC Trinity, as everybody should. These are the three original comics titles of all of comics. DC's doing a bang-up job with all three of them right now, so for some reason you're not following Action, Detective, Wonder Woman, it's a great week to try out any of the three of them. Like I say, they're the three main staples of comics, certainly of DC Comics, and they're three of the best books they're doing right now, so well worth checking out. Justice League Dark is your other Wonder Woman book of the week, your only Justice League book of the week. I've been digging all this Justice League stuff, the main book, of course, Justice League Odyssey, Justice League Dark, all kind of different, all kind of fun, cool takes on another one of the, again, main staples of comics. Batman Superman #2 is your other super book of the week. Another one of the hot titles that has exploded. If you, I hope you read the first issue, otherwise this cover of the second issue is just a bit of a spoiler. But if you haven't read the first issue and you're looking at this cover right now, it's going to make you want to pick up the first one. A lot going on in this book. Everybody loves Batman who laughs, or apparently anyone who laughs. Batman Curse of the White Knight, along with Batman Beyond and Batgirl, are all of your Bat books for the week, unless you count Red Hood Outlaw #37 or 38 maybe, the last issue of this. Totally sold out for reasons I won't go into, but if you're any kind of Bat fan, you're going to want to see what's been going on in Red Hood. Shazam #7. Shazam is finally back. Everybody loved 1 through 6. It's been a little while. We've been waiting for #7. Well worth the wait. You can read more about this one in our newsletter. Love this book. Jeff Johns really nails the, I don't know, the sort of all the unique properties that make Shazam a lot of fun, that make him one of the more interesting and more fun characters in comics. Like I say, everybody loved the first 6 issues. This is part 7. Grab #1 to see what all the buzz is about and catch up to this week's #7. If you love the movie or if you don't know anything about Shazam, it's really a fun and cool book. This one's got flying monkeys. Can't recommend Shazam enough. Tons of fun. The Flash is a book that doesn't need any help from me. It's already one of DC's best sellers, one of their big TV stars. Everybody loves The Flash these days. The Terrifics. It's one of my favorite books. I know if you watch this video, if you listen to the podcast, if you spend any time in the shop, I have a lot of favorite books, but Terrifics really is one of them, because I love Plastic Man, I love Metamorpho. The book's been really cool, really interesting. Now it's got Bizarro. Speaking of Red Hood a little earlier, this one, you saw Bizarro in Red Hood and the Outlaws. Now he's taking on the Terrifics. Like I say, really fun book. If you don't know anything about this, grab that first trade paperback. I guarantee it will suck you in and make you as much of a fan of that book as I am. Freedom Fighters is one of your mini-series books that DC has going on these days. Another pretty red-hot title, kind of a JSA-esque book, along with Dial H for Hero, one of your other DC mini-series that's going on right now, and Books of Magic is your Sandman Universe Vertigo book of the week. You know we love anything Sandman, Neil Gaiman-esque around here. Great week for the DC guys. Always a big, huge, great week for the Marvel guys. This is your latest issue of Powers of X, or Powers of 10 as the folks like to call it. This and House of X have just totally taken comics by storm. Great time to be an X fan. Great time to come back to the X books. These sell out every single week, faster and faster, so make sure this gets onto your sub list. Make sure you get down to your shop, pick up reprints of anything you might have missed for House of X, Powers of 10. Like I say, really great time to be an X fan. If you're a classic fan, it's a good time to come back. If you've never been an X-Men fan, it's a good time to check it out. Good time to jump in, see what Hickman's doing with all of this different X stuff. Lots and lots of fun there. Avengers, number 24, the latest issue of my favorite title. You know this one, and Captain America are two books I never miss out on, never miss a chance to plug Avengers and Captain America. Avengers has Cosmic Ghost Rider this week. That's one of the newest, biggest characters in comics. Captain America has been tons and tons of fun. Beautiful covers, great stories, great art, great time to be a Captain America fan. It's always a great time to be a Captain America fan. Amazing Spider-Man number 30 is your Absolute Carnage tie-in. Can't say enough about all this Absolute Carnage stuff that is permeating across the Marvel Universe. Everybody loves Spidey, everybody loves Venom, now everybody loves Carnage. A lot going on in these books, along with the tie-ins like Absolute Carnage, Miles Morales. Everybody loving Miles Morales these days, along with Ghost Spider, who we'll talk about in just a minute. This is your only other Absolute Carnage book of the week. I'm always saying you don't have to follow all the different tie-ins to get the gist of the main Absolute Carnage book, but if you love characters like Miles Morales, you're going to want to pick up those side books. There's lots always happening in those. And the aforementioned Ghost Spider, much like Miles Morales, can't say enough about Spider-Gwen. These two characters just totally exploded into the mainstream after that amazingly awesome Spider-Verse movie. Ghost Spider is the new title that picks up from where Spider-Gwen left off. So if you love Spider-Gwen, if you're just looking for a new Spider book, you're going to want to grab the reprint of number 1 and this week's number 2. And Superior Spider-Man, along with Spider-Man Velocity, your video game tie-in book, gives you more than enough Spider stuff to check out this week. Black Panther number 16. Love this book. Everybody that's reading this book is loving Black Panther. Great time to be a Black Panther fan. Has been since, 1966 and Fantastic Four number 52. You love the movie, you love the character. Pick up this one. Pick up his side book, Black Panther and the Agents of Wakanda, that launched last week. Everybody loving Black Panther. This really is one of the best books Marvel does, and it's self-contained. It is its own thing. So, like I say, if you're looking for something that's not some sort of mega event crossover, then Black Panther is great stories and great art. Marvel team up with Captain Marvel and Miss Marvel, and Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur, and Fearless, one of my favorite new titles, bringing all the great women of the Marvel U into one big book. I love anything with Sue Storm. She's got her own title, and now she's got her own team book. That's great stuff. Marvel Comics Presents is one of your Wolverine books of the week, and Wolverine is one of your Wolverine books of the week. This is an annual for a title that there really isn't an ongoing book for, but hey, annuals are always fun, cool, and exciting, and you can't get enough of the Crazy Canuck. Punisher Kill Crew and Thanos come from your dark side of the Marvel Universe and round out all the Marvel proper, but always a few more Marvel things to talk about. 3 Star Wars books this week. Age of Resistance, Kylo Ren. Been digging all of this Age of Resistance stuff, Age of Rebellion stuff. It's a whole series of one-shots, so you don't have to pick up each and every one, but if you're a Kylo fan or whatever character you might be interested in has a one-shot in this series, and you're going to want to check it out because they're cool prequels to the stories that you know. Star Wars Target Vader is your latest Darth Vader series. Vader's been some of the best of all of this Marvel Star Wars stuff. I love the main book, but Vader is certainly selling the best and has always been everybody's favorite character of the Star Wars stuff, except for maybe Boba Fett. And Star Wars Jedi was that. Fallen Order, Dark Temple, your other video game tie-in book, along with Spider-Man Velocity, because the only thing cooler than video games is comic books about video games. Great stuff there. And a really, really great week for all the other guys too. Really been talking up the indie publishers and what a great job everybody's doing with comics these days. This is Aliens Resistance from Dark Horse, because Dark Horse, as I always say, sort of reinvented the licensed property stuff. Back when I was a kid, and classic publishers like Gold Key were the only ones who did this kind of stuff, but then Dark Horse just took over with Aliens and Predator and Terminator and all kinds of great stuff, and they're still doing great stuff with all the great science fiction properties. Fight Club 3, written and done by the same guy who did the movie and Fight Club 2, so if you're any kind of Fight Club fan, pick up the trade paperback, watch the movie, then pick up the trade for Fight Club 2, grab these issues for Fight Club 3. Can't get enough Fight Club. Criminal is your image book of the week, because everybody loves the Ed Brubaker crime noir stuff. But Black Science is my image book of the week, because I love me some Rick Remender and I love me some pulpy sci-fi stuff. This one's dark, this one's heavy. It's kind of wrapping up and coming to the end, so if after all these years you haven't taken my word for it, grab the first issue reprint for just $1, or grab that first trade paperback for just $10 and understand why I've been talking about Black Science and anything Rick Remender from the very beginning. Warlord of Mars Attacks is my Dynamite book of the week. I've been talking up the awesome mashups that all kinds of different publishers have been doing. Dynamite sort of leading the charge with things like Transformers, Ghostbusters, and Charlie's Angels, Bionic Woman. And this is Warlord of Mars, one of the all-time great classic properties of science fiction, teaming up with Mars Attacks, one of the most ridiculous properties of all of science fiction. So I'm just loving this book. Grab that first issue and enjoy some wacky sci-fi fun. Transformers Galaxy is your IDW book of the week, because they've been doing all kinds of cool stuff in a new Transformers universe, so that's lots of fun. Angel number 5 is the first issue of the second arc from Joss Whedon's total reboot of the Buffyverse. This is your Hellmouth prelude. I'm a huge fan of Angel, always have been. I'm a big fan of anything Whedonverse, and it's really cool to see all of this start all over again from scratch. Fun stuff there. Love me some Boom Studios. Speaking of starting over, Bloodshot number 1 from Valiant. Always encouraging you guys to have a Valiant book on your list. Bloodshot's a great place to start. One of the original Valiant staples, one of the main staples from the current Valiant universe. Love me some Bloodshot. Everybody's always talking about the movie. So if you don't know anything about Valiant, if you don't know anything about Bloodshot, this is your chance to jump in before he's world famous movie star. Soulfire is your Aspen book of the week, because I always like to mention Fathom and Soulfire and the great job Aspen Comics does keeping the Michael Turner stuff going. Dark Crystal starts a new book this week, because everything from Jim Henson is awesome. And Dark Crystal is back in the mainstream, and that's really cool. Got a new show, got some new comics. Great stories, great art, like we always like to say. Invader Zim is your Oni book, just as awesome as the animated series. And Jughead's Time Police is my Archie book of the week. You know I've been talking up Archie like crazy, and all of the really awesome stuff they've been doing with the mainstream line, with their horror line, with the all ages stuff that they've always done that you know and love. You know I love anything Jughead. The original Time Police series was one of the most unique and fun things that I've read in a long time. Now this is the sequel that's about 10 or 20 years overdue. Like I say, you know I love anything Jughead. Pick up anything that's rolling out from Archie these days. It's, like I say, new and cool and different from anything else that any other publisher has going on right now. And a great week for the all-ages stuff, too. Let's give DC some props for a minute. This is The Secret Spiral of Swamp Kid. This is from DC Zoom. DC Zoom is a whole line of cool graphic novels for the YA readers, a little bit book, a little bit comic book. This is a kid's book about Swamp Thing, so how cool is that? There's been a few others of these DC Zoom stuff, so like I always say about the all ages, if you're looking for something a little lighter, something a little different, something a little less apocalyptic, or if you've got a young reader in your life and you're trying to show them about the awesomeness of comics, check out all the different stuff from DC Zoom, because it's lots and lots of fun. And the 100-page giant from Scooby-Doo. DC is going to be rolling out a few of these 100-page giants. They're a little bit new stories, a little bit classic reprints. What a better place to start than Scooby-Doo. Awesome stuff. Everybody loves solving mysteries with Scooby-Doo. And Star Wars Adventures from IDW. Been talking up the association with Marvel and IDW to do all of Marvel's line of all ages stuff. I love Star Wars Adventures. I love seeing Star Wars stories in an all ages format. They span the entire multiple timelines, all the different movies, all the different characters that you know and love. They're all single issue and self-contained, so it's tons of fun. They've also got all the Marvel action stuff like Avengers and Spider-Man and Captain Marvel and Black Panther. Like I say, IDW is doing a knockout job with their Marvel line of all ages stuff. Everybody should have an all ages book on their list because it's lots and lots of fun. Tons and tons of great books this week, so make sure you check that shipping list. Get down to your shop, pick up something fun to read. That's all we got for you for this week. You can check us out at black-cat-comics.com. Check out the especially cool Shopify store for some things you might not see here in the brick and mortar. Check out the Facebook page, the YouTube channel. Check out the podcast at soundcloud.com. Or just get on down here to the good old brick and mortar in Rock and Milpitas. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week.